Welcome to Mr. Winter Wonderland channel. Let's dive into fascinating facts where culture, history, and science come alive. The Pana Wave Laboratory, a Japanese doomsday cult, captivated the nation and the world with its strange beliefs, mysterious activities, and predictions of the apocalypse. Founded in 1977, this group emerged from a blend of apocalyptic fears, pseudoscience, and environmental paranoia. Their leader, Yuko Chino, real name, Hidemi Masuyama, was a former English teacher who became increasingly obsessed with the idea that electromagnetic waves were being used by malevolent forces to harm her and bring about the end of the world. Origins and beliefs. Yuko Chino's journey from a seemingly ordinary life to leading a doomsday cult was marked by a deepening conviction that she was under attack by invisible forces. Chino, who had struggled with various health issues, became convinced that these ailments were caused by electromagnetic waves. She believed that these waves were part of a larger conspiracy orchestrated by communists, and possibly other dark forces, to destroy her and ultimately, the world. This belief formed the core of Pana Wave Laboratory's ideology. The group took its name from the word Pana, a term they believed referred to a state of purity, and wave, representing the electromagnetic waves they feared. According to Chino, these waves were disrupting the natural balance of the Earth, causing environmental destruction, natural disasters, and even influencing human behavior. She taught that these waves were part of a grander scheme to bring about the apocalypse, and only by following her guidance could members protect themselves and possibly save humanity. Cult practices and lifestyle. Pana Wave Laboratory's members adopted a distinctive and highly visible lifestyle in their attempt to shield themselves from these perceived threats. The group's members, who were primarily middle-aged and elderly individuals, dressed entirely in white, which they believed could deflect the harmful electromagnetic waves. This color was chosen because white, in their view, symbolized purity and acted as a protective barrier. They extended this practice beyond their clothing, covering their homes, vehicles, and even the landscapes around them with white cloth. The group's headquarters were located in a remote mountainous area in Shirakawa, Gifu Prefecture, where they lived in seclusion, surrounded by white sheets. However, they did not remain confined to this location. In their quest to find a safe haven free from electromagnetic waves, Pana Wave members traveled across Japan in a caravan of white vans and trucks. These vehicles were often covered with white fabric and equipped with instruments they claimed were designed to detect and neutralize electromagnetic waves. The group's nomadic lifestyle was driven by the belief that they needed to constantly move to avoid the waves they believed were pursuing them. As they traveled, the group would often block roads and set up makeshift camps in rural areas, causing significant disruption to local communities. Their presence was usually met with suspicion and fear, as their all-white appearance, combined with their strange behavior and apocalyptic rhetoric, led many to view them as a dangerous cult. Despite their claims of conducting scientific research, their practices were widely regarded as pseudoscientific and fueled by paranoia. Attempts to save Tama-chan and public attention. Pana Wave Laboratory remained relatively unknown to the wider public until an event in 2003 brought them into the national spotlight. This event involved a stray Arctic seal nicknamed Tama-chan, who had become a media sensation in Japan after being spotted in the Tama River near Tokyo. Tama-chan's unexpected presence in a city river captivated the public, and the seal quickly became a beloved figure. However, Pana Wave Laboratory saw Tama-chan's situation through a different lens. The group believed that the seal was in danger from electromagnetic waves and that it was their duty to save it. In March 2003, they attempted to capture Tama-chan, claiming that they needed to protect the seal from imminent harm. The group's bizarre intervention in what was already a highly publicized story brought them unprecedented attention. The media began to scrutinize their activities, and the public became increasingly curious and concerned about who these people were and what they believed. The Tama-chan incident, while strange and seemingly harmless, raised serious questions about the group's motives and their potential danger. It also exposed the group's inner workings to the public, revealing a community deeply invested in apocalyptic predictions and extreme measures to protect themselves from an unseen enemy. Expulsion from Fukui Prefecture. Pana Wave Laboratory's itinerant lifestyle and the growing notoriety from the Tama-chan incident led them to settle temporarily in various rural areas across Japan. One such location was Fukui Prefecture, where the group's presence became a significant source of tension in early 2003. Fukui, known for its scenic beauty and rural tranquility, was suddenly disrupted by the arrival of Pana Wave members, who quickly set up camp and began covering the surrounding area with white cloth. The group's arrival was met with alarm by local residents and authorities alike. The sight of the all-white clad members, their vehicles, and their habit of wrapping everything in white fabric created an atmosphere of fear and unease. The group's bizarre behavior, combined with their apocalyptic rhetoric, led to growing concerns that they might be a danger to themselves and others. There were also fears that the group could become violent, especially given their doomsday beliefs and the sense of urgency that seemed to permeate their actions. Authorities in Fukui initially attempted to monitor the group, but as tensions escalated, it became clear that their presence was untenable. The local government faced increasing pressure from residents, who were frightened by the group's activities and concerned about the impact on their community. In response, Fukui Prefecture issued eviction orders, citing public health and safety concerns. The group was forced to leave the area, marking a significant moment in their history. This expulsion highlighted the limits of tolerance for fringe movements, especially when public order was at stake. The prediction of the end of the world. Central to Pana Wave Laboratory's belief system was the prediction of an impending apocalypse. Yuko Chino, the group's leader, made several predictions about the end of the world, with the most notable being that a catastrophic event would occur on May 15, 2003. According to Chino, this event would be triggered by a polar shift, a sudden and dramatic movement of the Earth's poles, that would cause widespread environmental destruction, natural disasters, and ultimately, the collapse of human civilization. As the predicted date approached, the group's activities became even more erratic. They intensified their search for a safe location, believing that they needed to be in a particular place to survive the coming disaster. The group also became more secretive, limiting their interactions with outsiders and focusing on preparing for the end. The prediction of a polar shift and the end of the world attracted significant media attention. Journalists and curious onlookers followed the group's movements closely, waiting to see what would happen on May 15. The group's sense of urgency was palpable, and many feared that if the prediction proved false, the group might take drastic measures. Aftermath and decline. When May 15, 2003, came and went without incident, Pana Wave Laboratory's credibility suffered a significant blow. The failure of the prophecy to materialize led to a loss of faith among some members, and the group's influence began to wane. The media, which had been intensely focused on the group, gradually lost interest, and public attention shifted elsewhere. The group's decline was further accelerated by the deteriorating health of Yuko Chino. She had long suffered from various ailments, which she attributed to the electromagnetic waves she feared. After the failed prophecy, Chino's health continued to decline, and she eventually passed away in 2006. Her death marked the beginning of the end for Pana Wave Laboratory, as the group struggled to maintain its cohesion without her leadership. In the years following Chino's death, Pana Wave Laboratory faded from public view. The group's membership dwindled, and their activities became increasingly obscure. Some members continued to adhere to Chino's teachings, but without the charismatic leadership and the apocalyptic urgency that had once driven them, the group's influence diminished. Legacy and reflection. Today, Pana Wave Laboratory is remembered as one of Japan's most bizarre and enigmatic cults. Their story is a curious and cautionary tale, highlighting the dangers of unchecked belief in pseudoscience and the potential for such beliefs to spiral into extreme and disruptive behavior. The group's fixation on electromagnetic waves, combined with their apocalyptic predictions, reflected broader societal anxieties about technology, the environment, and the future. The group's expulsion from Fukui Prefecture serves as a reminder of the limits of tolerance. The fear and disruption caused by Pana Wave's activities underscored the challenges that authorities face in dealing with groups that operate on the fringes of society, especially when those groups espouse beliefs that can lead to dangerous or unpredictable actions. While Pana Wave Laboratory has largely disappeared from public consciousness, their story remains a fascinating chapter in Japan's modern history. It serves as a reminder of the power of belief, the influence of charismatic leaders, and the potential consequences when fear and pseudoscience intersect.